Welcome to the Tradies in Business podcast with your hosts Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Divert your phone and grab a brew as Waz and Nick unpack tips, tales, secrets and stuff-ups from guests both inside and outside your trade, helping educate and inspire you to break the cycle of gut-busting and money stress and create a true trade business.
Morning, Nicole.
Good morning, Warwick. I was going to call you Coxie.
You're having an identity crisis.
I was sitting here thinking, I wonder if it's okay if I say good morning first. Because I can see the little red button come on. I think, but then I'll say it and you'll say it at the same time. And we might just go bad. So I don't say anything. I wait.
You mean I'll talk over the top of you?
You never do that.
No.
It's usually me talking over the top of you.
Yeah. I think we just butt in over the top of each other, don't we?
Pretty well, all the time.
And we were just talking about doing a serious episode today and then opened with some frivolity anyway. I don't think we could
always got to be a bit of fun.
Yeah. I don't think we could do a full serious, no laughing episode if we tried.
I think people would be very bored and they'd be thinking, where am I? This is not the Tradies in Business podcast.
Yeah, I've got the wrong show.
You're here for a bit of waffle, some gold nuggets, a bit of distraction, and more gold nuggets, and then more waffle. It's generally how it goes.
Yeah, and I feel like if we did do a bunch of just super serious businessy things, I think we'd lose everybody.
I think they'd be bored. Come on, we're talking to tradies, and tradies, they're very serious about their businesses, but they're not very serious people. They're fun people. They enjoy a bit of relax, a bit of distraction, a bit of fun. They don't want to get stuck in, I don't know, maybe just continual boring tradie business speak. I'm feeling tired as I say it. That's how bad it is.
And it's a common issue in business, I think, Coxie. You've been got some feedback recently about some episodes, and one of those things was that perhaps you and I get a little distracted. And I read the feedback, and I love all feedback. All feedback's good feedback. It's just information, and it's helps us understand what you want, listeners, and how we can deliver value to you. I mean, we think we know what value looks like, but often that's just based on our own assumptions. Well, it's all based on our own assumptions, isn't it, Coxie? We assume we know. And you can always go to there's a website you can go to. If you go to www.warwickknows.everything, you can find the source of our information there.
The Oracle.
Yeah. And I thought, we get distracted. Distracted from what? Did we actually have a plan to get distracted from in the first place?
No, and I don't know. I think it was fair, constructive criticism. However, I don't know that when we were doing our weekly episodes, we got distracted. I think now that we've got to try and think of something to relate back to business every single day of the week, as is the choice that we jointly made, it can be easy to get distracted because isn't that business? Isn't that the same thing? Don't you work all day, every day doing the same sort of stuff and you tend to chase a butterfly or get distracted by social media or by the staff member who's playing the clown or, I don't know, 1,000 other things that distract your brain throughout a day?
Social media.
It's like my life rabbit hole.
Oh, my gosh. It's so dangerous. Anyway, so notice how I just moved straight on from social media. So you have something you would like to talk about today, and it's pretty serious.
It is
Coxie.
serious.
But I think it's important that we talk about it. And I think it's important because, well, not a lot of people know that this sort of thing even exists.
No, you're also always so elusive when you come into these
I'm creating intrigue, Coxie.
Yes. Is it working, listeners? Please tell me.
Yeah, maybe not.
Look, I think we mentioned the Trade Desk, which is our DIY subscription-based business training program, just about every podcast. But I don't think we have a deep dive into some of the things we do in the Trade Desk. And I had a really interesting session yesterday with 3 people yesterday. So it was a quiet one, but we did have 3 people on the call in the Trade Desk yesterday, and I wanted to talk about that a bit because those 3 people got some absolute gold. And it's not something we've always offered. This is just part of how we're helping our tradies cope with the COVID changes. And as we all know, those changes are reversing. Is reversing a good word?
It could
Slowly.
be. I'm not sure what the context is, but yeah.
But the restrictions are lifting. Let's put it that way. We'll make it very simple.
Yes.
Some of those restrictions are lifting. So there'll be a point in time where some of what we're offering will no longer be available. But for the moment, we have 4 contact times per week inside the Trade Desk, which is massive for a $50 a month DIY program. That's massive. You get 4 hours of coach's time in a week that you can tap into if you want to. And I had, in one of those hours yesterday, we had a great session that had the 3 attendees taking notes, finding resources, discussing how to, what the next step is, getting unstuck and actually making some change today, affecting change in their business, all because they dropped in and had a coffee with Coxie. So I'm blowing my own trumpet a little bit, and I don't mean to be, but my point is...
I think you should though, Coxie. You don't blow your trumpet often enough, actually.
No, I don't feel very comfortable with that. You don't feel comfortable with blowing yours either.
No, but this is good because you just shone the light on you, so now I can just hold it there. But you do have... I'm amazed at the conversations you have with some of the members that turn up to these sessions, and you tell me about the conversations that I had, the issues that are raised, and the sharing that goes on, and I think far out. We should put our prices up, Coxie.
Maybe.
Actually, we put them down. We made it free.
We did. Hello, idiots.
Yeah, that makes brilliant sense, doesn't it?
But it's something that, like, it's my personal favourite part of what we do is these contact times, because you can see the change happening before your eyes. I love when we work with our one-on-one and our group clients, but I also love when we work with our bigger group clients, so the DIY clients, because they actually then get some of that contact, that taste of what it's like to work with a business coach moving forward, because most of us don't even know what working with a business coach looks like. And to be honest, we're working with tradies, so they're a bit distrusting or a bit uncomfortable about what that might look like. Is it going to be difficult? Will it be hard? Will I be made a fool of? Yeah. Will I have to pull my pants down, which is probably the most common asked question as we go into a new board meeting. And yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, it will create some work. Yes, you'll probably have to pull your pants down and you'll probably feel uncomfortable at times. But you know what? That's part of change. Change doesn't happen by blinking your eyes or clicking your fingers or wishing something would be different. Change comes from a little bit of hard work.
Jeez. Yeah, okay. Hard work, Coxie. That sounds like hard work. When you're saying about pulling your pants down, I straight away am transported back in time to being a 10-year-old boy getting told to drop my DAX so that I could get a whack on the backside from my dad.
Really?
Yeah.
A bare bum smack?
Yeah, well, and not with a hand either.
A thong, a wooden spoon,
a
belt.
Or the belt. Yep.
Never got the belt.
Good old corporal punishment. Capital is kind of terminal, isn't it?
It's a bit final.
Yeah. The capital punishment didn't work on me. Anyway, so no pants down here. Well, pants down, but in a safe space. It's a safe pants down. There you go. It's not serious again today.
Well, it is the truth of what we do, though. When you come into one of our group trainings, so the next level up from the Trade Desk, and you come into those group sessions, we're going to want to look at your numbers. We're going to want to look at your figures and help you navigate what those bumps might be in the road. That can feel like stripping off and running around naked. It's not comfortable. And it's meant to be uncomfortable, because when you're uncomfortable, you're forced to do two things: put your head further in the sand, which we won't allow you to do, or take a good bloody look at what's going on and affect change.
Yeah, it's interesting times at the moment with the good old Rona. Gotta love the Rona. Thanks, Rona, for changing everything.
Changing everything.
But I follow a few authors and philosophers and stuff, and their posts pop up on my social media feed when I get distracted, which is fairly regularly. And there's been some posts really sticking out for me about change and about how uncomfortable it is. And it's being related to our freedoms, and there's a lot of talk at the moment about loss of freedoms and loss of free speech, and recent arrests in Sydney and Melbourne of protesters and some of that sort of stuff. And one of the commentators, I guess he's an author, Mark Manson, wrote the Subtle Art book, and also Everything is Forked book.
I might be reading both of those at the moment, so that's great timing.
Okay. So he talks about the freedoms that we have come to expect. They don't come without discomfort and without struggle and without conflict, but because of, either because of or just sped up by social media, there's this perhaps misguided idea or desire from people that, why can't we have all that without any discomfort? I don't want to go online and be offended by stuff. It's like, but that's the whole point. If people are free to express their own opinion as we wish to be, then we're going to see other people's opinions that we don't like. And if we want to filter out everything that we don't like, isn't that suppressing free speech? So we're actually buying into the very thing that we're protesting against, either on the streets or silently at home, or maybe not so silently when it comes to me whinging at home about the oppression of the masses. But that it was an interesting thing, and I guess to somehow Chuck Norris that back to what we're talking about.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah. Is we want all this amazing stuff in our lives. We want free speech, and we want freedom of expression and freedom of association and all these things, but we don't want to go online and be offended, and we don't want to see yucky things that we don't agree with or that conflict with our beliefs. And it's like, but that goes against everything that you're actually saying you want. You can't have it for yourself and not for other people, because then you sit in that position of power. And so when it comes to changing a business, like, we want all the nice stuff, we want the money and we want the freedom, but we don't actually, a lot of people seem to not want to work for it or go through struggle to get there. They're looking for this, and maybe it's because we see online that we can block ads and filter content, and videos get hidden by Facebook and Google and taken down from YouTube because it disagrees with the mainstream. And so we live in this wonderful, safe place online where we only see the stuff that we agree with. And business isn't like that, because business still happens in the real world.
I don't think our tradies feel that it's like that. I think for the most part, the tradies that we're talking to feel the struggle. And the point I'd like to bring back to, which is part of the books, so it's part of your same, I'll call it rant with inverted commas.
It's a philosophical discussion, Cox.
It is. But it's choosing. You struggle. You can struggle to cope with no money, or you can struggle to not know what's going on with your cash flow in the next couple of months, or you can struggle to lead your staff into making the right choices and working effectively. You can struggle to not be able to figure out how to do your marketing, and so you're struggling to get some sort of marketing up left, right and centre. Or you can struggle to come and have a look at the training and actually impact change in your business, rather than struggling to continue to do things the way that you're currently doing them. Because for a lot of tradies, it's not working, or it's not quite right. Now, do you want to struggle with that forever, or do you want to struggle with a slightly more uncomfortable, different looking workload for a small period of time while you impact that change? create the change so that stuff happens moving forward rather than constantly sitting in this old struggle that you're already sitting in. Why do you want to sit in that anymore? So for me, it's very much about choosing which struggle works best for you.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree with you, Coxie. I don't think tradies think there shouldn't be struggle. I do see a lot of people going, when does this get easier? When does the struggle stop? What's the easy way? I want the shortcut. Where's the hack? And I don't know everything, despite the website. There isn't a hack. There isn't a shortcut. There isn't an easy way. It doesn't someday miraculously just get to a point where it's like, oh, wow. Remember back when things were tough, Coxie? Mm-hmm. How easy is everything now? Like everything I touch just turns to gold. That's a crock of horse manure. Are we making this one explicit? I don't think so.
No, we're going to be nice and serious today.
It's folly. It's a farce. It doesn't exist. And yet people are still looking for that. They're looking for the shortcut or the magic bullet. And they maybe don't outwardly say, oh, no, I just want the silver bullet. But secretly, I see and have seen over the years a lot of people looking for that, myself included, Coxie.
Me too at times.
I've gotten sucked into thinking that there was an easier way or a shortcut or a hack or something. And what I've personally come to realise is that through all of those challenges and struggles and problems and all that stuff, that's the gold. That's where everything you touch turns to gold, because you get shit hot at solving problems. So you go pick a new one. It's like, oh, give me another problem. I want to smash that thing. And there's a lot of joy comes from actually doing the gritty, hard work, whether that's sitting in an office figuring out how to get your website to load faster or swinging a hammer on site and trying to meet a deadline. I mean, that's where actual joy comes from in life, is digging into those things.
I probably just want to also acknowledge, because I agree with everything you're saying, Holly, look at the two of us. When we agree, it's a lovely podcast and we don't get distracted.
Yeah, there's no challenge at all, Coxie. Oh, look, butterflies are going past. Hey, there's a unicorn. Wow.
I just want to say that, and as part of the books, right, it's spoken about a lot. Actually, I'll use the one of the absolute examples from the book, and I don't remember the two guitarists' name, but there was a band, and the day before this band went in to record its first album, they kicked out a member. Well, that member was so sore and so bitter that he vowed and declared on his bus ride home that he would work his butt off until he outsold the band that kicked him out. So fast forward, I think it's 10, 20 years, I don't know. I can't remember all the details of the story. This kicked out band member is actually in a very successful band of his own. He's one of the guitarists from Megadeth. So he sold 10 million albums or 10,000, it must be million, 10 million albums. That's a bit of
the story, yeah.
Yeah. So he's incredibly successful. To all of us, I look at that and I think, oh my God. I would like a little bit of that success. Correct. How amazing would that be? The big problem for him was his measure of success, and how he determined his success was measured was based on what the other band was doing. So even though he was incredibly successful in his own right, the other band was, now what are they called? Metallica, who has sold 25 million albums. And so he's despite the fact that he's independently successful, he's created an extraordinary career. He's had amazing opportunities in life because he was always chasing after an unattainable dream and comparing his happiness to somebody else's happiness or somebody else's metric of success or happiness. He has never felt happy. He's never felt complete. He's never felt successful. He's never felt any of those nice feelings he should be feeling with these many millions of dollars in the bank.
Yep.
So I guess the thing I want to throw out there on the back of what you just said is, yes, you can go on, you can work really hard and you can struggle through and you can have a very successful business, but you will have new challenges. There will always be problems. So do you want the problems of that person who's really successful, or do you want the problems of the person who's not doing so well, who doesn't understand their cash flow and isn't really abreast of what they need to do in their business to make it run in a succinct way. So there's a struggle. Either way you look at it, there's a struggle. Which struggle is it that you want?
Yeah, and I talk to people about upgrading their problems.
That's a nice way to put it.
So we pick more awesome problems to go solve.
Yeah.
I mean, tradies in business is one of those problems, Coxie. This enterprise exists in part, and I vividly remember this personal insight, I guess you'd call it, that I had, where I did a professional development program, coaching, if you like, for myself. See, coaches get coaches.
Yes,
and
they do.
and it was along similar lines of what Mark Manson talks about with those problems. Choose the problems you want to have, and it was very closely related to that whole idea. And I thought, I'm going to choose to solve this problem of trade business owners busting their backsides for not a lot of monetary reward, relatively speaking, for sometimes problematic relationships because of the amount of hours they put in, the stress that they're under, the way they're treated by the media, by other businesses, where they sit in the food chain as far as when they get paid and what recourse is available to them, the levels of education they receive. And I thought, you know what? That is a problem that I want to solve. And not only that, I want to solve the problem of how the hell can I work with 100 times more than the number of people I was working with several years ago, which was not many, right? As a one-on-one coach, I can only work with a handful of people, to be honest. And I remember sitting in my office thinking, you know what? That's a problem I want to solve. It's enormous. And I had no idea how on earth I was going to make any inroads into that. And then, lo and behold, you and I sort of reconnected and chatted. We were in a very similar space with all of that. And here we are doing daily podcasts of immense quality, listeners, if I do say so myself. But we've got thousands of people in our community now. Wow, that's even weird to say that. I was thinking, do we have thousands? Actually, yeah, we do have thousands of people in our community in various forms. We've got hundreds of clients. It's just, and still growing, and I'm not satisfied because I haven't solved the problem yet. And I'm okay with it. I actually enjoy the fact that the problem still exists, despite banging my head against the wall some days.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting. I think the destination addiction that we all have. We all want to get to the destination and tick the box, and we miss the journey. We're in a journey now with COVID, and a lot of people are missing what's going on now because they're so focused on, when am I going to be able to go back and do this? When are we going to go back to normal? When can I go and do this activity again? And in the meantime, it's like they're burning all of this time and opportunity. So I love the fact that you've got people turning up to have a coffee with you, Coxie, and who are actually embracing the journey, as cliche as that is. I'm sorry, listeners. Please, if you're feeling a bit sick, take a moment to go and, go have some water. Yeah. But people are actually stepping into this. They're doing the whole leaning in thing, right? And that's really freaking cool.
It is cool, and they're high-level conversations, and they're really intelligent business owners, and you don't need to be smart to get this stuff done. But these guys have been in the trade desk for quite some time, so I'm talking specifically to the team that were there this morning. They've been there for quite some time. They've understood that it's going to take a little bit of work, and I don't mean big, scary work. I just mean a little bit of work, changing the way they do things so they can
Coxie,
implement the change. That's right. But they're prepared to confront the fact that they need to change something, whether in themselves or within their processes or systems or within their business, to create a better way to do things that equals more profit, equals an understanding of cash flow, equals a better team, equals more time with your family. They're happy to do all of those things or what is required to get where they want to be, to the destination. But they're quite happy to be in the journey. They're quite happy to turn up and have those high-level conversations about how they make that change. So one of the conversations today was about marketing. How do we make the change in marketing? Another conversation was about leadership because staff weren't doing what was necessary. In fact, just about every conversation I've had with clients in the last 3 weeks has been about leadership. So these changes require a bit of time, a little bit of work, a bit of critical thinking, a bit of looking inside at who you are and what you need to do, and then a bit of doing. You're just going to have to do the things to get the change to happen. But that's got to be better than the struggle you're currently sitting in whatever form that is for you. Surely it's got to be better.
Well, you think it's better, Coxie?
Well, we do. We're a bit biased. But, you know, the hardest thing for me is watching our tradies choose real struggle.
Oh, what are you saying here, Coxie? Say what you really mean to say.
Well, we might be getting a little prickly here, but whether you like it or not, you're choosing everything that's happening for you in your life. It includes what's going on in your business. And
Hang
that
on,
can
so
be...
you're saying I've chosen for my apprentice to cost me $5,000 on a job because of a massive cock-up they made.
Okay, so 2 of our clients might have had that trouble yesterday. Did you know that? Did I tell you that?
Yes, you did.
2 of our clients that we spoke to yesterday did know that. Yeah, I'm afraid to say, and we did have those conversations yesterday. Yeah, it wasn't great, but in one case there was should have been an experienced person on the site, or in the particular situation there wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Who makes those decisions? And if it isn't you, you're still responsible for the person who makes the decisions for you. So, yep, uncomfortably. But they knew that. Fortunately, they took great ownership on that. So, yeah.
And I know the guys you're talking about, and they are very good at stepping into that ownership.
They're exceptional.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have used the example.
Yeah. But the truth is, you know, sometimes things happen because we've dropped the ball, or we're not concentrating, or we're not choosing to deal with stuff that's coming up. And then sometimes uncomfortable things happen. And yeah, we got to take a look and realize, okay, I'm responsible for that. It doesn't mean, you know, I understand when we talk about extreme ownership and taking responsibility for our own lives, it doesn't mean that I'm responsible because my child is sick. But it does, the way I respond to that is my responsibility. So if I don't respond to that by ensuring my child is able to get healthy, or we're able to get the correct advice to get to the best result we possibly can, that's my responsibility. I'm still responsible for that. And I think that often we get bogged down in but it's not my fault that happened. It's not about fault. It's about taking responsibility. They're 2 different things. Man, this one got deep.
Yeah, and you split that nicely. Just to throw a last little concept in at the end there is, listeners, be careful that you don't confuse fault with responsibility. Coxie's just languaged that really, really well, where it wasn't the business owner's fault that the apprentice did the thing they did. That's the apprentice's fault in that example. And it's the business owner's responsibility to ensure that doesn't happen and doesn't happen again. And that's where, you know, the choices we make create our results. And I think some people misunderstand or misconstrue that idea where we have everything we've chosen. It's like, well, I didn't choose this screwed up situation. It's like, yes, and the choices you've made up until that point have led to that outcome. So it's a bit of a sneaky one, and it means that you really should chat through what you're up to with some other members in the trade desk.
So well, there's a nice little bow. Yeah. You have 4 opportunities a week to come and talk with us and your fellow members in one form or another. It's a great opportunity to talk about where you're at in your journey of change. What does that look like for you? Is it uncomfortable? Are you having a hard time? Let us help you make the right choices for you so that you can implement the change. Did something go wrong and you're not quite sure how you're responsible? come and talk to us. We'll help you. We've got some rock star tradies in there that are really good at taking responsibility for where they're at or what's happening. They'll help you. They're more than happy to help you through to the point that they're at so that you can understand. So, yes, to put a bow on it, that's a great way. Come and have a chat. Enjoy a coffee. You can have a toolbox talk on a Monday morning. My goodness, we're getting some awesome feedback for those. Getting your head right as a business owner. Well, you got to listen to one on Monday. I forgot that we shared that one. But you can hear what it's like. Sure, we get a bit off task, but that's the point. We're that's the choice that we make. We're responsible for that. We're okay with that.
We could come up with a new saying, Coxie. A problem shared is a problem solved.
Well, it is if you're in the trade desk. There's always somebody there to solve a problem.
Boom. So, as Coxie's saying, there are 4 opportunities a week for you to get coaching. And you can do all of that, not for $49 a month at the moment, but for free.
But for a limited time only.
For a limited time. But wait, there's more. You can actually get that for free right up until June 30. So you can procrastinate about that for the next 6 weeks if you like. And I suspect some of you will do that if you haven't already been procrastinating about it for the last 3 months. Or you could go and take action right now and use the coupon TradieRonaCast Tradies. That's the number 4 in the middle, TradieRonaCast Tradies. Go to tradiesinbusiness.com.au, go to the Work With Us page, go to the Trade Desk page. We should really come up with a simpler link than that.
We should.
We should just make it like www.
Get it for free.
Yeah, doitnow.com. Don't be a knob. So that's a good way to encourage people, isn't it? Just offend them.
And you've never done that before.
Who said that? But yeah, go to the website, find the Trade Desk thingy, and go register. And then before you click submit, stick in your coupon code Tradies for Tradies, and you get a free month.
It's pretty cool.
We'll remind you before we take the money. We'll give you a week to think about it, and you can leave before we even take any cash. But most people stay I don't know if this guy's in the Trade Desk actually. Can't really tell from his name, but someone's given us a review, Coxie.
Oh, that's where you're leading to.
Yeah. So we've got another review from D Dazza.
D Dazza.
I think I might know who this is.
I've got a feeling I know who it is.
So D Dazza gives us 5 stars. What a surprise.
Thanks, Dazza.
Review number 61 in the life of this podcast. So Dazza says, great for business, great podcast. Woz and Nick really know how to help your business. There are some great tips in these podcasts. Thanks, D Dazza.
That's really cool. I love that people take the time out to do that. Thank you.
Now, we are just about to get our hands on the rest of, the second installment of our merchandise. We've managed to get it through customs and COVID and communication breakdowns and all sorts of stuff. And so we have in our hot little hands soon
almost
some Tradies in Business stubby coolers, some Tradies in Business caps.
No, I think that's it.
We may or may not. Oh no, we've got someone else's branded builder's pencils.
We do.
And there's some other gear coming, but it's been a little held up with the whole freight thing. So keep writing the reviews, team. Go to iTunes. It can be a bit tricky. You've got to do it on your computer. And but if you just go find Tradies in Business in iTunes, give us a review. We'll read it out, and you'll go in the running for the opportunity to be picked out as the best review, and we'll send you some merch. And we've also got a fabulous member who is sponsoring someone for 3 months in the Trade Desk. So here you go. You could get 4 months for free. Go sign up for free, write a review, and then be the lucky person that picks up another 3 months sponsored by another member.
I think we should announce the winner on the 30th of June. I say that I don't even know what date the 30th of June is.
It's probably a Sunday.
Yes.
We'll announce it on the Monday, the 1st of July, because it all closes on the 30th.
Saturday. No, it's a Tuesday.
All right, we'll do it on Tuesday. So anyway, 30th of June. It's just all
There you
gone
are.
as Coxie bangs herself in the stand.
Sorry.
So get on board, get in, have a coffee with Coxie, or join us on our weekly group coaching call, or get your Monday morning fired up with our toolbox meetings, or come have a drink with us on a Friday afternoon, all via Zoom. The drinks thing is interesting. Perhaps don't bring the kidlets to everyone.
Oh, don't bring them to this week's, because I'm going to suggest that we stream this into the big group this week and get everyone involved.
Hey, okay.
Whoa, that could be fun.
Crikey. We've got to get them all on Zoom, though, Coxie. Otherwise, they can't participate.
That's okay. They're just going to have to click the link or they miss out.
Yeah, we'll put the link in the big group.
So there you go. If
So
you're
anyway-
not sure what this looks like, now you can do it. Have a look. Try before you buy, even though you're buying with nicks anyway. No.
Do you
nothing.
think anyone's still listening to this episode? We've been rambling on about the trade desk and stuff at the end here.
Probably, but if you're
Are you
not
still listening, listeners? Let us know. Are you still listening?
listening,
Did you listen to the end?
listeners.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in anyway. We love your ear holes, and we love the fact that you love problems. And we love problems too. So come
We
have
do.
some problems with us.
Hooroo.
We'll talk to you tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Tradies in Business podcast with Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Find out more about today's guest, tools for your trade business, and other cool stuff at tradiesinbusiness.com.au.